How's everybody doing? All good? I thought you would have had better hands than that, man. You dropped like 4 passes. My name's Eddie, and do you know why I'm here? No, I'm here. I created an anti-drug, alcohol, and tobacco curriculum, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit just about my personal story. It's a very challenging story, and maybe if you want to listen, you can listen, and if not, I appreciate that as well. It's basically just here to talk to you about about making choices, the right choices, and I'll just give you a personal, just so I can verify. I'll give you a few of my personal things that happened to me in my life. I turned to drugs and alcohol when I was 8 years old. My father my father was a Vietnam vet, airborne, hardcore, and came back to the States and became a Hell's Angel. So I'm back in New York, West New York, I grew up, and I was surrounded by a lot of violence, a lot of guns, drugs, and these guys were like military hardcore, but yet they were bikers, Hell's Angels. So I was fortunate enough to pull myself out of that a little bit and realize and try to make some right choices. And I didn't know what drug addiction or alcoholism was all about. I didn't know it was like playing Russian roulette. Pretty much that's what it is. You put a bullet in a gun, you spin the barrel, you pull the trigger. If you blow your brains out, you blow your brains out. And that's what it's like with drugs. You never know what drug is going to be that bullet. A 14-year-old girl died last weekend because she inhaled helium. She was at a party and they were passing the helium thing around, and it got to her. She didn't want to do it. They threw the mask on her. She inhaled it, she died. How many times I've inhaled helium? Makes your voice sound funny. People do it all the time. It's a party trick. She's dead because of peer pressure. That's just her story, but I just happened to read that today. They were passing the mask around. It got to her. Bottom line is, I would have probably, I don't know what my choice would have been back then, 14 years old. I probably just let them put the mask on because of peer pressure. But looking back on it, I never had someone to stand in front of me in school, or, I mean, personally to tell me the things that I'm telling you. It was to the point where the older kids picked on me so much and beat me up so much that they actually would throw me down, urinate on me. Or, that was pretty serious to me, and that's what created a lot of my anger. I had big-time violence issues. And it's just, as far as me, I mean, I was glad when I finally did speak up, but I look back on it, and it's really what caused a lot of my anger. Bullied, picked on, beat up. I hope you get something out of this. And I appreciate you being here. I really do. This is really big for me. And I thank you. So having said that, I was able to make some choices. I went into rehab and I started to work, for me, a program that works for me. And, it all started with the courage to change. That's all it's about, the courage to change. Whatever you feel in your life that you need to change, you need to make the changes. You need to say to yourself, what do I need to do today to make changes? The biggest thing for me was not be judgmental. I judged everybody. I'm sure I'm being judged right now, but it's okay because we all do it. It just depends on what level we do it at. I'm looking around the room. I see, it doesn't matter whether you're listening or not listening, because I'm not judging anybody. Everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their own backstory, and I understand that. Some people got a lot going on. It's okay. Mentally, you just got to try to reel yourself in and focus. And that's what it's all about. It's all about focusing, making right choices, and saying to yourself, do I need to change? Is there someone that I can help? Is there someone that I know that's hurting and I don't speak up? Well, it's time to start speaking up. If the time is right, if you feel you can help them, then do it. I'd like to take some questions. I know somebody's got some questions. Is there anything at all that anybody would like to ask? Does anybody have a question? Come on. We're learning here. They had other things. They didn't have all the, let's put it this way, how society and technology is catching up with us, Mac, Facebook, Twitter, come on, I'm on all of them. No, we didn't even have that back then, but we knew how to smoke. And unfortunately, it led us to many other things. So what I'm hearing is a lot of people asking me a lot of questions about smoking weed, and here it is. It may be cool, you may think it's cool to smoke weed, you know, I'm gonna get high, I'm gonna go get blooded out. But the bottom line is, the next time you go to the dope man, he's gonna say, oh, by the way, here's some weed, I got some coke too. You wanna try some crack? And that's how it happens. It's not like, oh, I can smoke weed and I can just keep smoking weed. The dope man's gonna have something better for you because he wants more of your money. And that's how that works. You know, people hanging around with people that are smoking weed and doing other drugs, and before you know it, you're doing the drugs too. So you have to make the choice. You have to make the choice. Do you want to put yourself in that scenario where you could be subjected to that or not? Dangers of drugs and alcohol and tobacco as well. And all because I got into service and I help people, I've been able to stay clean and sober. Anybody over here? Nobody? Just listening intently? Yeah. How you doing, buddy? Did I ever get lung cancer? No, because I didn't smoke cigarettes. However, my father died of lung cancer on Mother's Day. So, yeah, so I'm very familiar with what cigarettes can do. My father was 47 years old. That may not sound like, that may sound very old to you, but as a man, to die at 47 of lung cancer, that's pretty tragic. That's a great question, how most people don't even quit drugs or use it. 99% of people do not find recovery. That's a fact. 1% of people that become addicted to drugs or alcohol get clean and sober. That's pretty sad. Think about it. 1%. If everybody in this room was to use drugs and alcohol, what do we got, 80 people? Right? Think about it. 8 is 10%. Right? I mean, that's pretty rough. It's a death sentence.
Honey, I keep it hot and wet, flooded with ice. You can spend all day, chill all night. The city with the king, peep what I bring. Every few weeks, it's a bigger size ring. Carrots ain't nothing, cabbage ain't nothing. I got habits like going to Paris. I ain't frontin', never need nuts. Only one pipe. Would you like to go to dinner? Jordan and his wife, if I'm moving fast, it can happen real soon. $1,000 shoes, dancing ballroom. You know the dress, they got the party impressed. You'll only wear